Hello everyone and welcome back to a very exciting chess game. In this chess game I would like to show you one of the early chess games of Magnus Carlsen when he was around 13 years old. So this was from the World Youth Chess Championship. So Carlsen's opponent was Diamant. So this game was played in 2003 and Diamant became the Brazilian chess champion. He became the chess champion of Brazil in 2008. So he is a Brazilian chess grandmaster and he is about the same age of Carlsen. So they were both born in 1990. So anyway, let's see what happened in this chess game. Although Magnus Carlsen was higher rated in this chess game, Carlsen's FIDE rating, despite his age, was 2450 and Diamant, I believe, if I'm not remembering incorrectly, his rating was about 2150 or something like that. So Carlsen was higher rated. And this is a very instructive chess game. So let's see what happened in this chess game. Carlsen starts the game with e4 as he has the white pieces. So we have c5, the Sicilian defense, knight to f3, knight to c6, and simply d4, open Sicilian, exchanging, and in this position e5 and developing the knight to f6 are some of the very popular moves, but in this position Diamant played g6, and this gives white an important opportunity. Magnus Carlsen decided to play c4, gaining space. So pushing the d-pawn is not easy for black. As you can see, white has extra grip on d5. And this is known as the Maroczy bind of the Sicilian defense. Instead of g7, in order to prevent that, black can try knight to f6 or even e5. So they are also very popular. But in this position, instead of g7, if black would play something like a6, white still could play c4, the Maroczy bind. So we have g6 and then c4, the Maroczy bind of the Sicilian defense, and you can see that white has space advantage. White has extra control on d5 and white is a little bit more active. So black needs to find some counterplay in this position. Okay, so the game continued. Knight to f6, knight to c3, d6, knight to c2, Fianchetto the bishop, bishop to e2, and both players castled. Knight to d7, bishop to d2, so not allowing to double the pawn structure. Knight to c5, b4, kicking the knight back, and then rook to c1. Knight from e to d4, exchanging and asking a question, capturing the bishop, and then a5. Magnus Carlsen is closing with b5. And you can see that this knight is looking very annoying actually, because white can try to play knight to a4 or knight to d5 and targeting on b6. So actually in this position d5 square is looking very juicy, and the knight is going to be a very strong piece controlling some of the key squares. So in this position Diamant made a committal decision and he decided to give up his dark square bishop and giving up the bishop pair. Rook takes on c3. Well, actually keeping the bishop would be fine for black, because after this move, okay, getting rid of the knight, which could cause some problems, but with this move, weakening the dark squares, because black gave up his dark square bishop. So the dark squares is going to be problematic for black. We have f6 and then c5. Now in this position, white can play queen to c4, checking the king, and then push the pawn, and the c pawn is going to be very dangerous. So d takes on c5, attacking the queen, defending, and then, as you can see, the dark squares is not looking very good for black. Black has dark square weaknesses. Rook to f7, defending the rook. And then queen to c4. e5. Rook in. So the rook is pinned. And rook takes pawn is possible. Attacking the b pawn. And Carlsen is extremely patient, defending. Rook over, defending the c pawn. And then doubling. Well, in this position, actually, Magnus Carlsen made a mistake, according to the computer chess engine, of course. This is not me saying this, but engine said, instead of rook to d3, simply rook takes on f6 would be fine, because this rook is going to be pinned. So that would be very good. But instead we have rook from c to d3, which is also a very good move, and attacking the bishop as the rook is pinned, but unpinning the rook, king to h8, and very patient play by Magnus Carlsen despite his age. He played h3, so you can see that he is planning to play queen to d5, and where is this bishop going? It is going to be trapped. So getting rid of the safe square for the bishop with this move, white is controlling on g4, so bishop to g4 is not going to be possible. So we have rook to c7, and Carlsen played a very strong move. He played b6, kicking the rook back. Well, you might also think what happens if rook to c6. Then we have rook takes rook, bishop takes rook, and it is white to move. What would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? White has a killer move in this position. Okay, so this is the move, rook to d8. Did you see this move? Pinning the queen, and what else? Capturing, and queen takes on f7, and how do you defend the checkmate threat? There is no defense. So if queen to g8, check, and then checkmate. It is that simple. So, okay. So white has very nice tactical ideas in this position. So this is why not rook to c6, but rook to c8, and this move is also not a good move. And black has no good moves, actually. It is white to move. Now what would you do? Okay, so Magnus Carlsen played queen takes on f7, sacrificing the queen, queen takes, and then rook takes on d7, infiltrating the 7th rank. After defending the queen, well, you can see that white was also targeting on g7, rook to c7. And how do you defend doubling the rooks? And then attacking on g7. So actually there is no reasonable defense in this position. This is resignable. We have queen to e6, but if rook takes rook, then pawn takes, and you can't stop rook to d8. So queen to e6 and doubling the rooks. And this is just game over. Threatening to play rook takes rook, that's the immediate threat. Or rook takes pawn, king over, rook check, king over, and then rook up. Only defenses with the queen, rook takes queen, checkmate. Or rook takes rook. What do you do here as black? Nothing. But black tried rook takes on c7, a funny attempt. So if capturing the rook with the pawn, that is going to be a blunder. Queen takes rook. Carlsen played rook to d8, and black resigned. Because how do you defend? If defending like this, queen to e8, rook takes queen, checkmate. So queen to g8 is the only sensible defense. And then simply capturing the rook, and this is game over. So some move, and then promoting the queen. Queen takes rook, queen takes queen, check, mate. Fantastic chess game by young Magnus Carlsen. He showed his talent, his enormous talent. And thank you very much for watching. So this was one of the notable chess games of Magnus Carlsen when he was a teenager. So I hope to see you next time with more interactive chess games. Stay safe, take care, and bye-bye.